Hello students, today we are going to understand the nuclear fission reaction. Okay, so there are actually two types of nuclear reactions. So fission and fusion. Okay, so nuclear fission reaction means that we have a heavy nucleus. This heavy nucleus is unstable. So what it does, it breaks into two lighter nuclei which are more stable. So this process is called nuclear fission reaction. So the reasons we have already discussed, that whenever we talk about a heavy nucleus like uranium, so since its binding energy is less, that's why it is unstable. Okay, so its binding energy is less. This suggests that it is unstable. And that's why what it will do, with the help of some bombarding particle, it will break into two lighter nuclei, and the resultant nuclei which are being produced, that are comparatively more stable because they have more binding energy. Okay, so this process is called the nuclear fission reaction. So we can define it properly. The process of splitting of a heavy nucleus. Okay, heavy nucleus. Now what is the category of saying that heavy nucleus? So generally we say A greater than 230, mass number greater than 230, that nuclei undergo fission reaction. Okay, so the process of splitting of a heavy nucleus into two nuclei of nearby comparable masses, two nearby comparable masses nuclei, they are produced with the liberation of energy. Okay, some energy is also released. So this process is called the nuclear fission reaction. Now, what is the meaning of liberation of the energy? So it's very simple, because we are saying that this process is supported for stability. That means the initial mass is more, initial nuclei mass is more, and the final products which are produced, if we total their mass, if it is mf, then this reaction will be supported for stability only when final nucleus mass is less than the initial mass. Okay, that means the difference mi minus mf, that is the mass defect, and if we say that how much energy is released in this process, so we will say delta m into c square. Okay, so that's why the amount of energy released is delta m into c square. So let us start understanding one example of uranium being bombarded with the thermal neutrons. So the uranium is unstable because its binding energy is less. Now to gain stability, it needs to undergo the nuclear fission. That means it will break into two lighter nuclei, but it is done with the help of neutron, which is incident on this uranium and which is almost of a moderate speed. So that only causes the uranium's fission reaction. So note down, we are coming to now the uranium's fission reaction. Understand the fission reaction of uranium. Okay, so 92U235, 92 is Z and 235 is A. Now when this uranium is bombarded with a neutron, okay, now why I am writing the neutron like this, that you need to understand here. See, Z is the charge status and A is the mass status of any particle. So since the neutron is chargeless, so we have to put 0, and if it is the part of the nuclei, then we have to write here 1. In the same manner, suppose if we have to talk about proton. So proton is P symbol. Now proton is charged, so here it will come 1, and proton is the part of the nucleus, that's why here it will come 1. In the same manner, if we talk about electron, so electron is negatively charged, so Z will come -1, E is the symbol, and since electron is not the part of the nucleus, so here 0 comes. So this way we can denote the particles. So this, if you want, you can note down. Now let us focus on our main reaction. So when uranium is bombarded with thermal neutrons, okay, then what happens? This uranium breaks into two lighter nuclei. So first of all, if we add, Z and A should be conserved. So 92 uranium 236 it will become after bombarding. Okay, and finally it will break into two lighter nuclei, barium and krypton. Okay, and then 56 is barium values and krypton's value are 36 and 92. Now other than these products, 3 neutrons are also generated. So 3 neutrons. Okay, 3 is the number of neutrons and 0 and 1 means neutrons. Plus some energy is also released. So this energy we denote by Q symbol. Now let us talk about the products and energy. Okay, so first of all, when we talk about the fission of the uranium which is bombarded with the neutron, then this is the intermediate term, that what it will become if we add. So Z is 92 plus 0 92 and 235 plus 1 is 236. This is one of the isotope of uranium. It is much more unstable. Then because it is unstable, it will break into the product. So products are 2. These 2 products are there. Now are the products fixed in this fission reaction, that always barium krypton will be produced? No. Okay, so the 2 products can be such products which are nearby in masses, and finally the total Z and total A will be conserved. Let us check now. Suppose if we add here total Z, so 56 plus 36, it is 92 and initial Z is also 92. You can see, or you can compare directly with this. So initial Z is also 92 and final Z is also 92. In the same manner, if we compare the mass number, this should also come conserved. So mass number, let us total. 141 plus 92. 141 plus 92. And here also the mass number 1 is written, but these are 3 neutrons, so mass number 3 will come. Let us add them together. It is giving us 6, 236. And what is the initial mass number? Let us check. Initial mass number is also 235 plus 1, 236. So this way, in any nuclear reaction, the total Z before and total Z after should be same, and total A before and total A after should be same. So this is about the product. So the products BA and KR is not fixed. The 2 products which will be generated, they should also follow the Z and A conservation. Okay, so this way it will be. This is all about products. Note down, thus barium and krypton are not always produced in the fission of uranium. Any such products which give Z and A conserved can be produced. Now let us talk about the energy. Okay, now let us talk about the energy released. That means this Q value will be what for this particular reaction. So students, as we have discussed before also, that the mass of the initial terms will always be will always be more, and mass of the final terms MF will always come less. So whatever is the difference between initial and final mass, that is called mass defect, and equivalent to mass defect, that is called the energy released. So let us calculate it for this particular reaction. So if we put all the masses, like initial masses are mass of uranium plus mass of neutron, okay, minus final are mass of barium, mass of krypton and mass of 3 neutrons. So 3 mass of each neutron. If we subtract the 2, we will get a delta M, mass defect. Now for this particular reaction, at least we can remember this delta M value. It is coming 0.2135 AMU. This is the mass defect produced in this reaction. And we know that how to get the energy released. So delta M into C square, or this AMU into 931. So 0.2135 mass defect. If we multiply it with 931 mega electron volt, so we will get the answer of 200.4 mega electron volt energy. So this is the energy released in each fission reaction of uranium. Okay, so you can see this is a very huge amount of energy. So that means this fission reaction can be used to utilize this energy which is produced in making some generators, like nuclear generators, which will give us the electrical energy which can be used for further purpose. So this energy which is released, that is of much importance. Students, you can understand from this reaction, main point is that how to calculate the energy. Suppose if any reaction is given, how you will calculate the energy released. So you have to always do this, that add the two masses here, add all the masses here, and subtract initial minus final mass. That difference is called delta M, and multiply that delta M with 931. So you will get the energy in mega electron volt. So this calculation is applicable for any reaction which is given, and you are asked to calculate the energy released. Okay. We are moving to next sheet. Now, of the same fission reaction, let us discuss about these two products. Okay, like if the uranium is bombarded with the neutron, then as we have discussed that barium krypton are not always fixed. We can get all such products for which Z is conserved and A is also conserved. Like another possibility of uranium-235 fission products is that we can get Sb plus Nb also, and plus 4 neutrons. Okay, all this is also giving Z and A conserved. But which is of maximum probability? Which two products are of maximum probability? For that we need to see this graph. Okay, so in this graph about the fission products in percentage, okay, the fission products or fission yield means in percentage it is shown that which mass numbers are most probable to come out. So you can see just near 90 we have a peak, that means at 92. Okay, so here it is 92 mass number is of krypton, and then another possibility is just at near 140 mass number. So 141 is of barium. That means when we do the fission reaction of uranium, then the most probable or maximum possibility of which two products is there, that is barium and krypton only. Okay, this graph is saying that all that mass numbers, like less than 90 mass number, the probability is very less, but where the probability is increasing, it is increasing for 92 number and for 141 number, mass number. Okay, this is mass number. You have to see this thing. So that's why which two products are most probable to come out, that are barium and krypton. Most probable products of fission of U-235, 92U-235 are barium and krypton. Okay, so this we have discussed about the products here. In the previous sheet we discussed about energy. Now let us move to the chain reaction. Okay, now again the same reaction reference I'll take. Now we have to understand the nuclear chain reaction. Okay, so suppose one nucleus is bombarded with a neutron. Then we are getting the products, these two products and 3 neutrons. That means if these 3 neutrons we again bombard on the fuel of uranium, where still the nuclei are left of uranium, then you know that each neutron can cause the fission reaction of one uranium. So this way the process can be multiplied, as we can show in this diagram. Now you can see one neutron, if it is bombarded on this uranium-235 nucleus, then what is produced? 2 products are produced. So 2 products are there, barium and krypton, and other than the 2 products we are getting 3 neutrons also. this way. Now again, if we allow these neutrons to fall to bombard the uranium 235, then again each neutron can cause the fission reaction of one uranium. So two products and three neutrons will be produced. Here also two products and three neutrons will be produced. Here also two products and three neutrons will be produced. So that means total 9 neutrons will be produced, which can further cause the fission reaction of 9 uraniums. Like this. So you can see now in each fission reaction, like this is one fission reaction. Okay, this is one fission, this is one more fission, this is one more, this is one more. Here also 9 are there. So you can see in each fission reaction, the energy which is released, that is around 200 mega electron volt. So if this reaction keeps on happening, that means we are getting an enormous amount of energy in the nuclear chain reaction. Okay, so this can be an uncontrolled chain reaction which will finally cause explosion. Okay, so one point is this, that we have to control this chain reaction if we want to utilize this energy. Okay, otherwise this energy which will be produced, that is not in our control. So that can cause explosion. So this is the uncontrolled chain reaction. Okay, so for controlling it, what we can do, we require each time only one neutron. Okay, so every time when the fission reaction is happening, we should stop the two neutrons, and we can only allow one neutron to fall on the uranium. Again, we can stop the two neutrons and only one neutron we can allow to fall on the uranium. And also, other than absorbing these extra neutrons, we have to make the speed also controllable of these neutrons. Okay, the neutron which is required to make the fission of uranium, that should be of moderate speed, but the neutrons which are produced in the fission reaction, that are very, very fast. So first of all, these neutrons which are produced, first of all, their speed should be controlled. So there are the mechanisms with which we can control the speeds. So first is that we have to control the speeds of these neutrons. Okay, secondary neutrons we can say. First is that we have to control the speed, and second is that we have to absorb these extra neutrons, so that each time we get one neutron, one neutron, one neutron, so only a controlled chain reaction we will get. So we can say about the uncontrolled chain reaction that the number of fission taking place at each successive stage goes on increasing. As you are seeing, number of fission are here 3, here 9, okay, at a rapid rate. Thus the energy released is uncontrollable and it can cause explosion. So uncontrolled chain reaction is this, in which we are not stopping the neutrons and we are allowing it to fall on all uranium fuel. Okay, so this way the number of fission reactions are continuously increasing and energy is also multiplying. Now let us come to the controlled chain reaction. Now let us see the controlled chain reaction diagram. So as you can see, one neutron bombarding on one uranium, two products generated, and out of three neutrons, we are only allowing one neutron to fall on next uranium. Again two products, barium krypton, one neutron allowed to fall on next uranium. Two products, like that. So each time the extra neutrons, we are absorbing them. Okay, so what is the task needed to make a chain reaction controlled? So the task which is needed, that is that we have to absorb extra neutrons. Okay, and second is that these secondary neutrons which are produced, they are very fast. We have to make their speed also in control. Two things are needed to make the reaction controlled. We have to stop extra neutrons, and the speed of the secondary neutrons generated is very large, we should control it also. Okay.